I'm telling you guys right now, once you smell this, Iris is never going to be the same. What's good guys, Hunter and welcome back to Fragrance Hunter. Hope you're all doing good. Today we're going to be reviewing one of my favorite Irish fragrances in my entire collection, hands down, which is Parfumier's 502 Iris Cartagena, guys. This one I cannot believe I haven't talked about yet because I'm in love with it. And I was like, you know what, I have to review this on the channel because it's so good. There's so many Iris lovers out there like myself. Plus, Parfumeur is coming out with an EDP version of 502 Iris Cartagena very soon. Guys, this one in particular is part of the Extrait line, which is a little bit more pricey. I also just recently reviewed the newer fragrance called Myrrh Shadow, which is also in this line. And man, I'm a huge fan of the house of Parfumeur. You guys don't know that because I've been talking about them for a few years now and always said they're one of the best kind of niche fragrance houses to get into if you're just starting to get into niche, because the entry level line is very unaffordable and you're getting niche quality. Also want to shout out Parfumeur for sending 502 over for review. Of course, you know me, I'll keep it honest. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't, and that's the drill, guys. Let's run down some information. Now, 502 was launched in 2024, I believe towards the end of 2024, so it's still fairly new. For the retail price, only size this one comes in, which is the 100 ml, is gonna run you $220, which honestly, guys, for a niche fragrance, and being an Extrait, I think that's actually very reasonably priced. There's no complaints at all from me. And for the concentration, this is of course an Extrait de Parfum, so you're probably getting around 30% oils in here, which is very potent. Like I said, they are coming out with an EDP of this very shortly, which I will review if I get my hands on it. And for the perfumer, that is Clement Marx, which has a pretty good resume. I haven't really tried many of his offerings besides, I believe, 502, but I might have to dive into some of his other fragrances he's made, because this one right here, guys, is an absolute banger. With all the information out of the way, let's look at the packaging and presentation you get with Iris Cartagena now. So take a look at this box. Of course, you got this black Parfumeur box, which is their updated kind of design. Iris Cartagena 502 right there in gold. Extrait de Parfum, 100 ml bottle. On the bottom is where you'll find your batch code to authenticate your product and see when it was produced, as well as you got your information and barcode on the back of the box. The box is kind of like a cheaper kind of cardboard, kind of flimsy, but hey, box presentation isn't the biggest deal. Let's put that to the side and take a look at this beautiful bottle, guys. I love the aesthetic of the newer designs. Of course, that white label on the front with gold and black kind of color scheme, very elegant. You have Extrait de Parfum on this side with the Parfumeur logo on the other side of the sticker. On the bottom is where you find all your information as well as a batch code. Nothing on the back. Up top of the cap is engraved that Parfumeur logo. Nothing inside of the cap. The cap is, I believe, like a plastic, but it does have a nice kind of hefty weight to it that does click into place very securely. You cannot say this is not an elegant bottle. In the top, you got cacao, rum, petitgrain, and mandarin. In the mid, you got that iris, sandalwood, vanilla, and cedarwood. In the base, you're gonna find papyrus, coffee, vetiver, and sugarcane. And this will be classified as a sweet woody. And you cannot tell me right now that note breakdown sounds absolutely amazing. Let's spray this and test out these atomizers. Very good distribution, guys. It is pressurized, which is a plus. So you can spray a little bit or a lot, which I like to do. So let's remind myself of 502, and of course, I'll let you do the first sniff. I'm telling you right now, Parfumeur barely ever misses, guys. They always come with absolute elegance. This one's no different because immediately in the opening, you're gonna get this kind of spicy, chocolatey cacao, a little bit powdery as well, guys. And I'm a huge fan of chocolatey cacao notes, and it absolutely is so fitting to the opening of this. Now, along with the cacao, you actually do get this boozy, sweet rum vibe, which I think works great together. So a little bit chocolatey, a little bit powdery, and a little bit of the sweet boozy rum is where you're gonna get so far in Iris Cartagena, and it's mind-blowing. And the quality is literally top tier when it comes to niche perfumery with this brand, guys. That's why I've been a huge fan of Parfumeur for so many years now. So if chocolatey cacao and boozy sweet rum sounds good to you, you're gonna fall in love with the opening of 502. Now, as we make our way into the mid is where the star of the show is the iris, guys. A very high quality, sophisticated, elegant, powdery iris vibe in the mid of this one. And if you don't know, iris is very expensive, especially in perfumery, and just always adds pure class to any DNA it's in. And I gotta say, I have a lot of iris dominant fragrances in my collection. This one has to be one of my favorites, if not my absolute favorite one. And along with the powdery iris, you are gonna get a very creamy, woody sandalwood and this spicy, creamy vanilla just works absolutely flawlessly all combined together. And there's a reason why this fragrance got so popular, guys, because yeah, the hype is real with it, and that's exactly why they're coming out with an EDP version of it, which I don't think they've ever done before with any of their other extracts. And then finally, once you make your way into the base of 502, it starts to become kind of dry, a little bit woody from the papyrus, kind of aromatic, green, and woody, but you also do have that kind of roasted coffee beans vibes as well, which I think kind of complements the other notes like the chocolatey cacao, the boozy rum, the iris, vanilla, etc. The coffee is a nice kind of grounded touch. And who doesn't love coffee, right? I gotta take a sip of my coffee just even smelling this. Even though this is not considered like a coffee fragrance by any means, it just does have that roasted coffee bean vibe in the dry down. This is by far more of a chocolatey, kind of boozy iris fragrance. And even though, of course, iris is considered a very classy note, this one right here has got to be one of the classiest takes on iris, and I highly recommend any iris note lover out there, do yourself a favor and check out 502 Iris Cartagena. You're not going to be disappointed. So for the best seasons to rock this one, I primarily only wear this one during the fall and winter when it's kind of colder outside. You're in the fall, you have the leaves on the ground, it's kind of crisp from the air. In the winter, it's kind of snowing outside. This is absolutely beautiful for that kind of weather. Plus, it's very potent and dense, which works perfectly for the colder weather compared to something like spring and summer. Probably not a fragrance I'll ever reach for during the spring and summer. However, though, maybe the EDP will be a fresher take on this and actually be more versatile. But if you're looking for that chocolatey iris fragrance for the cold weather, which we're going into right now, this is a perfect option. For occasion, this one's very formal. It means business. Somebody that has their life together, is established, made a name for themselves, is the kind of vibe I get when I smell this one. Like somebody of importance, no doubt about it, guys. It's not a casual, everyday kind of wear. It's just a little bit too classy for that. It's not something you really want to dumb down while you're wearing like jeans or hoodie or anything like that. Of course you can, it's a fragrance, obviously. But yeah, when you smell this, guys, you'll know what I'm talking about. It screams high class. Like taking a lady out to a fancy steakhouse or something like that in the evening time, nighttime, etc. You want to make it first good kind of impression. You want to stand out. She's never gonna smell anything like this on anybody else, I promise you that. Or also going to like a fancy event where you wanna dress in like a suit or a formal kind of tuxedo even, this is a great companion. Absolutely far more formal than casual, no doubt about it. For gender now, I believe all ball perfumiers are classified as unisex. If I'm not mistaken, 502 Extrait, I will say, is also pretty unisex. Both a man and a woman are able to rock this beautifully. I do picture it on a guy just as much as I could smell it on a lady as well. Just because of how powdery, creamy, a little bit spicy, vanilla kind of vibe it gives off. Yeah, definitely very, very much unisex. It's the kind of fragrance that will smell very masculine on a man if he's wearing it, but also kind of elegant if your woman's wearing it as well, if you know what I mean. For age groups, however, I'm gonna classify this one as a little bit more mature rather than youthful. It doesn't have this kind of playful, juvenile, immature vibe about it at all, guys. Kind of goes together with the formal attire situated fragrance. Very mature, somebody that has their life together, maybe like in their 30s and up is what I imagine picturing this the best. I mean, you almost gotta be somebody to be rocking a smell like this. So go out into the road, make something of yourself, become somebody, and then rock a fragrance of this nature. Because anytime somebody smells this on you, they're gonna think you're somebody important, I guarantee it. And you're gonna wanna live up to that, right? So wrapping the review off, talking on the performance I got from 502 Iris Cartagena, guys. This is an extrait de parfum, which I hold to a very high standard. Thankfully though, this performs like an extrait should, guys. Very dense and potent. I got around 12 hours of longevity on skin. If you go ahead and apply your clothes, like your shirt, etc., you will get like a day or two easily, guys. This stuff sticks on you, and the kind of fragrance you have to commit to wearing throughout the entire day because you're gonna be stuck with it, believe me. Not a weak fragrance by any means, guys. This stuff lives up to the extrait name without a doubt. And when it comes to projection, I did get about moderate projection, which isn't bad. It means that people will smell you. It's just not gonna be like a room filling loud projector, but it's also not like an intimate kind of soft projecting fragrance at all either. Right down the middle, moderate, which is most of the time the case with extraits. They usually lean a little bit softer to moderate projection rather than like loud screaming off the skin like EDTs or even EDPs, because if you don't already know, the alcohol content is what makes a fragrance project off of the skin. So the higher perfume oils, the less alcohol you have in here. So maybe the EDP is gonna project even more than this one, but might last a little bit less, if you know what I mean. It's not all the time the case, but most of the time that seems to be what happens. But still, you will get compliments, you will get attention when you're kind of going about your day. The scent trail, the scent sillage it leaves behind you is so good. They're gonna have this kind of chocolatey, boozy iris vibe flowing off of the skin when you walk around. Just outstanding in every single way with Iris Cartagena, guys, and probably as quickly became one of my favorite fragrances from the house of Bahama Parfumeur. And believe me, I do own bought a lot of them. And I'm really anticipating the new launch for the EDP. I don't know if it's gonna be better or not because it's gonna be hard to top this one, believe me. But who knows? I'm sure it's gonna be good. And of course, if I get a bottle of it, I will be reviewing it soon. Because like I said, Bon Parfumeur has never done that before that I know of. So that's gonna do it for my review of 502 Iris Cartagena. Let me know down below if you've tried anything from Bon Parfumeur. If you're an Iris fan, if you've tried this one, what are your thoughts? And are you thinking about picking it up after this review? Which, like I said, guys, if you love Iris, you had to do yourself a favor. But besides that, of course, leave a like on the video, subscribe below if you haven't already, because what are you doing? I got you with daily fragrance content. Of course, see all of you back here tomorrow. Take care, everybody.